Assalamu alaikum. We are studying management information system, and so far we have got 20 lecture, and today is lecture number 21. In lecture number 21 we will study about unauthorized intrusion. Or unauthorized intrusion means that those who are not permissible to access our system. This is outline of our today lecture. First of all, we will discuss unauthorized intrusion. Then we will discuss physical access versus logical access. Then we will discuss viruses. Then we will discuss sources of transmission. Then we will discuss types of viruses. Then we will discuss management procedural control. Then we will discuss technical controls. Then we will discuss antivirus software. Then we will discuss firewall. First of all, we discuss unauthorized access intrusion. Intrusion can be both either physically or logical. In physical intrusion, the intruder physically could enter an organization to steal information, system, assets, or carry out sabotage. For example, the intruder might try to remove hard disk. In case of logical intrusion, the intruder might be trying to have an unauthorized access to the system. The purpose could be damaging or stealing data, installation of bugs or wiretapping, spying on communication within the organization. Physical access versus logical access. In computer security, being able to physically touch and interact with the computer and network devices amount to physical access. So whenever we physically touch or access the computer system is called physical access. It lets someone insert a boot disk in the machine and bypass normal operating system control. Physical access enables people to install unauthorized snooping equipment such as keystroke loggers. However, interact with data through access control procedures such as identification, authentication, and authorization. Keystroke logger is basically a type of program which sends us which keys are being pressed by the user. So whenever we install keystroke logger, it will send us the data about various keys pressed by the user. So whenever we access the when we have physical access, we bypass identification, authentication, and authorization procedure. Logical threat. This refers to damage caused to the software and data without any physical damage to the computers. Consequently, there are situations where damage of data or software may render the hardware itself unusable. For example, the virus or bug being installed to corrupt data or software might create bad sector on the hard drive, leading to its preferable removal from the computer. So logical threats can pose various types of threats, such as it may damage the hardware or create bad sectors in the hard drive, so that it compel us to remove the hard disk. Here is the example of logical threat. Payroll data or details of draft corporate budget may be perceived as highly sensitive, and unauthorized access to it may be considered as a logical threat. A person tapping the communication line to have sniff around in the organization communication being transferred through the communication line. So whenever a payroll data or any budget numbers are considered as very sensitive, and it may be picked up by the competitors or any other person. Viruses. It is a software used to infect a computer. After the virus code is written, it is buried within an existing program. Once that program is executed, the virus code is activated and attaches copy of itself to other programs in the system. Infected program copy the virus to other program. Basically, virus is a small piece of code which is attached to any other programs. Once this program, the legitimate program, is executed, the virus is also activated and attaches copy of itself to other program. infected program copy the virus to other programs. It may be gentle or have a negative effect, such as causing a program to operate incorrectly or corrupting the computer memory. So there may be different kind of effects of viruses, such as like it doesn't have any much effect other than the slowing the computer, or causing the program to operate incorrectly, or corrupting the memory of the computer. The term virus is generic. It is generic and applied to variety of malicious programs that send out requests to operating system of the host system under attack to append the virus to other programs. So basically, a virus attaches itself to other programs, attacking targets. Generally, virus attacks four parts of computer. Executable program file. As we all know that executable program files are the most important program files within the software, because it runs the whole system. Whenever executable program is corrupted, then the software will not operate correctly, or it will fail to operate normally. The file directory system, which track the location of all the computer program file. Basically, file directory system is a system where all the record of the programs installed within the system is kept, and all the programs currently in run are tracked. So if file directory system of the computer is corrupted, then the whole system becomes very slow, or it doesn't respond, so it can harm the file directory system. Boot and system areas which are needed to start a computer. So whenever boots are the system programs which functions the computer or which runs the hardware, while the system areas are those files which are necessary to run the hardware, or it can interact between the user and the hardware. So these two programs may be corrupted, targeted by the virus. So if these both programs are compromised, then we will have a problem in starting the computer, or the essential task performance of the computer. Data files. So data files are those files in which data are kept on. So whenever we store something in computer, it is kept in data files. So when data files are corrupted by the viruses, it means that the data we have stored in our computer system or information system, we cannot retrieve it or copy it, so it is permanently lost. So basically, data files are also very necessary for our operations. Viruses versus worm. As we have previously discussed, that virus is a generic term. So here we will look at into the differences of worms, and what is worm and what is viruses. A worm is a program which spreads over the network connection. This is unlike a virus and does not physically attach to itself to another program. Worm typically exploits security weakness in operating system configuration to propagate itself to the host system. So basically, whenever a worm is unlike viruses, as previously we have discussed that viruses attach itself to other computers, while worm itself spread in the network by exploiting the weaknesses or other drawbacks in the system. So drawbacks in the system like operating system configuration, so it propagates itself in the whole network. Viruses versus bug. Bug is an internal malfunctioning of software. So bug is basically we cannot call it a proper virus. Bug because it's a failure of the software. So it is an unintentional fault in the program, because a programmer or coder may left some faults unintentionally within the software. So it is a incorrect functioning of particular procedure in the program. So the program does not perform its intended function. This is caused by improper application of programming logic. For example, the free trial version of softwares are available online. So whenever you have, maybe you have used the software which are free available on the internet, like beta version, which are not tested by different programmers, and often contain bugs that can disrupt the system. Incorrect definition of formula or linkages can give incorrect result. Virtually all complex programs contain viruses. Incorrect, invalidated, unedited data entry is not a programming fault or bug. The process of removing bugs from the software is termed as debugging. So whenever we want to remove these bugs within the programs, it is called debugging. Virus is external threat which is not malfunctioning of software. However, bug software can create a virus. Sources of transmission. Viruses or worms are transmitted easily from the internet by downloading file to computer web browser. So whenever you have heard from a lot of people that you have to download only those programs which are from the trusted vendor sites on. So whenever we download files from the internet to our computer web browser, then it may contain malicious programs. Other modes of infection occur from the file received through online services, or we may receive the some software from online services, computer bulletin board system, local area network. Virus can be placed in various programs. For instance, free software. So basically we have to, whenever we want to download free software, we must be very carefully, because maybe these free software may contain some malicious codes or bugs or software. Pirated software. Basically pirated software, basically every software that is available in the market, we have to purchase the license of that software. Whenever we don't purchase the license of the software and purchase it from some software pirated version which are not authorized copy, then it may be cheaper economically, but it may be not authentic, and it may be not be warranted by the companies, so it may costly in the long run. Game software, wide appeal and high chances, because nowadays maximum games are available online and some are free of cost. So basically a lot of people play game software, so there are wide chances and high chances that it may contain viruses. Email attachments. So you may have encountered this, that you received emails from different sources which you may not know, and they are asking you to click click this program or so. Whenever you click, whenever a virus is attached to email attachment, you click on it, then it will, your system will be infected automatically. So portable hard and flash drive. Nowadays you may have, everybody has flash drives and hard drives, and they are easy mode of taking the files from one PC to other, from one place to other. Employees take disk home and may work on their own personal PC which have not been cleaned or have suitable antivirus installed on them. So basically employees have hard disk or flash drive, and they work from home and take these files to the organizational information system. So it's because an organization have greater resources than the personnel, so it is the high chances that the employee personal PC may be infected with some virus or virus, and it doesn't have any proper guarantee against viruses. So it is in most of the organization, it is strongly discouraged to carry their flash drive. Types of viruses. Although viruses are many types, however broad categories have been identified in accordance with the damage they cause. Some of these categories have been stated below. Their boot sector viruses. Basically, boot sector means that basically whenever you start the equipment like PC or your smartphone, so basically it is booted from the software, and these may contain in these software may contain viruses which infect the boot sector. So your equipment or device may not operate properly. Overwriting viruses means that whenever you overwriting means that, as the name suggests, that these viruses rewrite the programs of the legitimate software, exploiting its weaknesses. So overwriting viruses are those viruses which insert in itself and write the code of the legitimate software and hence spread itself. Dropper is may not consider is a proper virus, but whenever you let's suppose I am giving you start your Bluetooth or any other, so it may be dropped through various means onto the system, or you accept the file through various means which is available in the market. Trojans are basically those programs which appear harmless. Whenever we see it, we doesn't understand of it too much and say that it's a harmless program. But whenever we click it, it's install itself on our PC and starts to destroy, damage or data property or different assets is discussed in the previous slide zone. Management procedure control. So basically management procedure control is how the management devise the plans to control all these viruses. Following are various examples of management and procedural control, that what step management take and what procedure are adopted to control the damage. Build any system from original clean master copies. Boot only from original diskette whose written protection has always been in place. So whenever we build a system, we build from a original software a clean master copy, so that it doesn't contain any virus, and it can only if we want to boot our system, we boot from the diskette whose written protection is enabled. USB port enabled device should not be used until it has been scanned or standalone machine that is used for no other purposes and is connected to the network. So basically USB, whenever we insert USB to our organizational system, a proper care must be taken. It has to be scanned by the up-to-date virus or virus. And if a system is connected to the network internet, so it must not be attached to our system. Anti software should be updated virus definition frequently. So you may have if you have installed antivirus system, there are frequent messages to update the virus definition, because viruses evolve and numerous types of viruses comes into market, and whenever it is known, the virus definition is updated so that the latest viruses can be captured by the antivirus software. So basically we have to update our virus definition frequently so that the virus can be captured or quarantined. Have vendors run demonstration on their personal machine, and we have to compel the vendors show that any antivirus system effectiveness should be checked on their personal computers. Scan before any software is installed. Is commercial software occasionally is supplied with Trojan horses. So basically whenever we are installing any new software, it must be thoroughly checked by antivirus so that it doesn't contain any Trojan horses. Insist that field technicians scan their disk on test machine before they use any of the disk on the system. So if the field technician normally carry hard disk or various types of data, and whenever they attach their machine or disk to our system, it must be checked and scanned before attaching the system. Ensure that all servers are equipped with activated current release of virus detection software. So virus detection software should be installed in the servers. Ensure bridge router and gateway updates are authentic. Exercise an effective backup plan. Educators use users so that they will hate these policies and procedure. For example, many viruses worm today are propagated in the form of email attachments. Reviewing antivirus policy and procedure at least once a year. Prepare a virus eradication procedure and identify a contact. Technical controls. Technical methods of preventing viruses can be implemented through software. The following action can reduce the risk of infection to hardware and operating system. Use boot viruses protection, built-in firmware-based virus protection. Use remote booting. Local hard drive of the system is not used for boot up process. Use hardware-based password. Use written protected tabs on diskette. Ensure insecure protocol are blocked by firewalls from external segment. Antivirus software. Use of anti-software is another very important technical control against the spread of virus. Scanners. They scan the operating system and application software for any virus based on the viruses they contain. Every virus is a bit different bit pattern. These unique pattern can act as identity of virus and are called signature. These signatures are available in virus definition. Every signature contain virus definition, which in fact are signature bit pattern for various kinds of viruses. The scanner check or scan the operating system and other application software installed on the hard drive. While scanning, it checks a bit pattern in all those software against base pattern contain the virus definition of the scanner. If they found similar, they are labeled as virus. Active monitors. This software shows the concurrent monitoring as the system is being used. They act as a guard against viruses while the operating system is performing various functions connected to the internet, transferring data, etc. It blocks a virus to access the specific portion to which only the operating system is authorized access. Active monitors can be problemsome because they cannot distinguish between the user request and a program or virus request. As a result, users are asked to confirm action including forming a disk, or deleting a file or set of files. Behavior blocker. Focus on detecting potentially abnormal behavior is the function of operating system. A request made by the application software. Focus on detecting potential abnormal behavior in the function of operating system. A request made by the application software, such as writing to boot sector or master boot record, or make change to executable files. Blocker can potentially detect a virus that in early age. Most hardware-based antivirus machines are based on this concept. Logical intrusion. The skill needed to exploit logical exposure are more technical and complex as compared to physical exposure. Generally, a similar term used in relation to logical intrusion is hacking. So nowadays many transactions are based on internet. Whenever we look at retail sales, booking, airline tickets, banking, property management, or any other host of other applications, the whole world is trading and managing goods and services via web-based system. This is not only helped organization to either earn high volumes of dollar but also exposed to an undesirable threats. Customers and criminals are finding it convenient to have an access to information system of the organization. So here, if basically online system organization supposes that the online system is inherently safer than the high street store. Here I am giving example. The two guys walk at night at 2 p.m. in the morning, show a knife and ask for money in the cash register, and they walk away with the cash. So similar scenario can happen online. Compare the situation with this one. Two guys walk into the online store, a retail store, through back door, a hole in the security of system deliberately left in the place by designer and maintainer. They access the database, steal the credit card information of all the customers. Intrusion to information system is simply not restricted to the internet. Intrusion can be made through LAN or by actually setting on a target terminal or computer. A person making intrusion is generally termed as intruder. However, he can classified according to the way he operates on. So there are basically hackers, hackerists, or crackers. So basically hackers, who is hacker? Hacker is a person who attempts to invade the privacy of the system. He attempts to gain unauthorized entry to a computer system by circumventing the system access control. Hackers are skillful programmer and have been known to crack system password with quite ease. Initially, hacker used to aim at simply copying the desired information from the system, but now trend has been to corrupt the desired information. Hacktivist. This refers to individual using their skill to forward political agenda, possibly breaking the law in the process but justifying their action for political reasons. Crackers. These are the hackers who are more malicious in nature, whose primary purpose or intent is to commit a crime through their action from some level of personal gain or satisfaction. The term hackers and crackers often used interchangeably, and they normally steal the PIN code of the customer debit card, credit card, or passwords of the system. Firewall. Basically, firewall is a primary method of keeping a computer secure from the intruder. A firewall allow or block traffic in and out of the private network or user computer. Firewall are widely used to give some users secure access to internet as well as to separate a company public web server from internal network. Firewall are also used to keep internal network segments secure. For example, accounting network might be vulnerable to snooping from within the enterprise. In home, a personal firewall typically comes with which is installed in the user computer. Personal firewall may be detect outbound traffic to guard against these spyware which could be sending your surfing habits to website. They alert you when a software make outbound request for first time. In organization, a firewall can be stand-alone machine or a software on a server. This is the references from where I prepared my material. Thank you. If you have any questions regarding today's lecture, feel free to email me. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.